There we go. Now we're on. Have I been on that long that I don't know the mute button? Have I? Apparently not that long because I remember it. And we're back. Welcome to the Amazing Great Sports Network on the Sports Wednesday. It is April 23rd, 2025, or the 2025th year of our Lord, AD. That being said, I'm glad to be here. Of course I am, because talking sports is what I like to do. Research and analysis, or analysis and research, if we do it alphabetically, is what I like to do. I like history, I like geography, I like research, I like stats. I like to make sense of the world, and in a world that's hard to make sense of. How you like that one, huh? Not bad. Hey, listen, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are on Rumble, if you are on Gab, if you are on Restream, if you are on YouTube, if you are on X, whichever platform that you are on and you are watching us, thank you for being here. Um, Remember, like and subscribe, comment. If you don't like it, comment. If you do like it, comment. And let me put up the chat overlay here because, yes, I can do that. And bam, if you send any comments, I can respond. I can respond on the air. And can I type? I can probably type. Yeah, I can type you a message too. Look at this. Technology is unbelievable. But here we are. Okay. Today is April 23rd, 2025. And we generally do birthdays. Yes, we do birthdays on Sports Wednesdays because so many sports figures, well, they're here today and then they're forgotten tomorrow. And, that's going to happen. It's it's Shakespeare said in Julius Caesar. Um, a good man's deeds are often buried with him while his bad ones go on long after his bones are interred, which means long after his bones are in the ground. Um, but your good deeds and a lot of your life will be forgotten. You can pass by the graveyards and you see the hundreds and hundreds of, well, headstones, and you see the name on there, and that's it. You don't know the guy from Adam or Eve, and he's gone and forgotten. Well, we're not going to let that happen as far as when we are on the air. We're going to bring sports figures up on their birthdays or near around their birthdays. And today, being April 23rd, 2023, it is the birthday of one Warren Spahn. Now, before we get to Warren Spahn, you're probably asking who he is. But before we get there, let's get our prayer out because you know what? I've been missing my prayer book for the past month, and I thought my wife had hid it from me. And she said, "No, you bonehead, you left it. You left it at the studio, WEZE studio." And I was down in Florida, down the studio down there, and of course I couldn't get to it. And I thought it was her fault, and she had to remind me, no, it was my fault. I'm the one who misplaced the book, not her. And as soon as we got that straightened out, I have the book again. So our prayer today comes from Tony Evans. Tony Evans' book on prayers for victory in spiritual warfare. We're on chapter 4 on page 37, and it has to do with the authority of Christ. The authority of Christ. When Christ died on the cross, he made it possible for us to be complete in him. In him, we are made complete. His leadership and rulership extend over all. Jesus Christ. In Jesus Christ, we have been set free and no longer have to cower in fear from fear of anything. When we trust in Christ, we are transferred from the dominion of uncertainty to the kingdom of confidence, and anything is possible. There you go. That's our prayer for today. Anything is possible, ladies and gentlemen, with Jesus Christ. I'm making sure my volume is up on these headphones that you can hear me. Thank you and amen. So back to birthdays. On April 23rd, and I'm not even sure of the year, but it doesn't matter. On April 23rd, Warren Spahn was born. Warren Spahn was born in New York. And what is he known for? And, most of you guys are going, who is Warren Spahn and why are you talking about Warren Spahn? Sometimes your voice isn't clear. Sometimes it becomes. I'm getting some feedback on my overlay here. I'm going to have to make sure that I speak into the mic correctly so that it's clear and my message gets across. Thank you, Mr. Tassin, for letting me know that, yes, I need to get it straight. Even as professionals need to be reminded of our duties while we were at the mic. So, Warren Spahn, I'm going to get you a picture of Warren Spahn here. There goes this handsome little gentleman. There goes with the Boston Braves. That's the reason why I'm bringing him up. He was a Bostonian for a period of time with the Boston Braves. And most of you guys don't remember that team, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. Why you don't, because you weren't around. But Warren Spahn possessed exceptional longevity and durability. He pitched for 21 seasons, which is a testament to his physical and mental resilience. He continued to be effective well into his 40s, winning 75 games after the age of 40. Spahn was the model of consistency, leading the league in wins multiple times and consistently pitching deep into games. He once pitched into the 16th inning of a scoreless tie. In addition to his fastball, Spahn also developed a number of off speed pitches, all thrown with the same high kicking motion. Spahn incorporated craftiness and shrewd game management to maintain his effectiveness. A pitcher needs two pitches, the one they're looking for and the one to cross them up, Spahn was fond of saying. Now, Spahn made his big league debut with the Boston Braves in 1942. That same year, he was inducted into the Army. Over the next 4 years, he would participate in numerous military engagements, including D-Day, the Battle of the Bulge, and the taking of the bridge at Remagen. He was a true war hero who was wounded several times. He was awarded the Purple Heart and a Battlefield Commission. Warren Spahn returned to the Braves soon after his discharge. Now, I don't know about you, but did I name enough battlefield things? I mean, D-Day should have been enough. They should have taken him out of the field after D-Day. But it went on. He participated in the well-known Battle of the Bulge and taken the bridge at Remagen. So, Mr. Spahn, wow. That's all I can say. They didn't let you go early. I mean, they didn't. You had to work your way to get a discharge in the Army back in the 40s. A hangnail was not going to do it. Um, After his discharge in 1946, he came back to the team, the Boston Braves, and he was 21-10 in 1947. Sadly for Boston, the Braves franchise moved to Milwaukee prior to the 1953 season. Spahn responded to that move by winning pennants in 1957 and 1958. This guy's pretty good. He's pretty good. There's no doubt about that. Um, Pitches, goes off the world, comes back, pitches more, and he holds the record for the most wins by a left-hander. Pitched over 20 years. Unbelievable. Let me continue. Sadly for Boston, the Boston Braves franchise moved to Milwaukee prior to the 1953 season. He won the pennant in 1957 and 58. He helped Milwaukee capture the 1957 World Series championship. And that same year, he won the Cy Young Award. As Spahn grew older, his pitching seemed to improve. He won at least 20 games every year from 1956 to 1961. He led the league in complete games every year from 1957 to 1963. And in 1963, at age 42, he posted a 23-7 record and compiled a 2.60 earned run average. In 21 big league seasons, Warren Spahn was a 17-time All-Star and compiled a 363 win, 245 loss record, started 665 games, completed 382, struck out 2,583 batters, and finished with a 3.09 ERA, leading the league in ERA three times. Can you beat that, guys? I don't think so. I don't think so. The guy is good. The guy is good. Um, what are we gonna say? The guy's good. Warren Spahn, Boston Braves to the Milwaukee Braves that went to become the Atlanta Braves. That's who they are today, the Atlanta Braves. So thank you very much for all of that. I'm trying to check on my audio here just to make sure that everything's working correctly. And it doesn't seem to be. Oh, you know what I did? Okay. I know exactly what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I know exactly what it is. And it is totally my fault. We're going to take care of that really quickly. Um, we changed microphone. That's right. We changed it. Hold on. There we go. Unbelievable. You know, I'm almost tempted to go back and do the whole thing over just because it didn't come out right. Um, I had one of these newfangled mixers, and I tell you, these things are unbelievable, but they can also be a little bit tricky and confusing. And if you don't do it right, you're coming off with a bad situation. So I think we've taken care of that. Warren Spawn. Should I do Warren Spawn again? You know what, guys? Just to make sure it comes out right and you hear it the way that it should be heard, I'm going to do Warren Spawn. I'm going to do it quickly, but we're going to get it done. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get it done. And to do that, we're going right back to Warren Spawn, okay, as a Boston Brave. Okay. We're going to start there and knock this out, and you guys are going to hear it the way it should have been heard the first time. A little broadcasting excellence here. Also, let's just do the prayer. Our prayer today comes from Tony Evans' book, Victory in Spiritual Warfare, Chapter 4, page 37, The Authority of Christ. Okay. When Christ died on the cross, he made it possible for us to be complete in him. In him, we are made totally complete. His leadership and rulership extend over all. In Jesus Christ, we have been set free and no longer have to cower in fear from any fear of anything. When we trust in Christ, we are transferred from the domain of uncertainty to the kingdom of confidence, which means, ladies and gentlemen, anything is possible. Okay, that's our prayer for today, Tony Evans. Birthdays, April 23rd. In today's birthday, we commemorate Warren Spahn. Warren Spahn was born in Rochester, New York, and Mr. Spahn possessed exceptional longevity and durability. He pitched for 21 seasons, which is a testament to his physical and mental resilience. He continued to be effective well into his 40s, winning 75 games at the age of 40. After the age of 40, Spahn was the model of consistency, leading the league in multiple times and consistently pitching deep into games. He once pitched into the 16th inning of a scoreless tie. In addition to his fastball, Spahn also developed a number of off-speed pitches, all thrown with the same high kicking motion. Spahn incorporated craftiness and shrewd game management to maintain his effectiveness. Spahn once said a pitcher needs two pitches, one that they're looking for and one to cross them up on. Now, Spahn made his major league debut with the Boston Braves in 1942. And as you can see by that picture, he was a Boston Brave. That very same year, he was inducted into the United States Army. And over the next 4 years, he would participate in numerous military engagements, including D-Day, the Battle of the Bulge, and the taking of the Bridge of Remagen. And as I mentioned before, one of those should have been enough, just one. After that, they should have said, okay, listen, buddy, you can go home. You can go home. But they kept him. And until the end, until they finally discharged him, which we're going to get to. Finally, after participating in almost every affair there was over there to participate in as a military man, they discharged him in 1946. And I forgot to mention, he also won a Purple Heart. He was wounded a couple of times, and he also earned the Battlefield Commission. He was a true war hero. After he was discharged in 1946, he came back in 1947 and went 21-10. Sadly for the Boston Braves franchise moved to Milwaukee and became the Milwaukee Braves franchise. And they did this prior to the 1953 season. Now, Spawn, he didn't take this like, okay, I'm going to quit, and I had enough, and I'll just, do what I have to do in order to get paid. No, Spawn. Well, Spawn, he responded by taking them to the pennant in 1957 and in 1956 and 1957 and 1958. He helped Milwaukee capture the 1957 World Series championship. That same year, he won the Cy Young Award. As Spawn grew older, his pitching seemed to improve. He won at least 20 games every year from 1956 to 1961. He led the league in complete games every year from 1957 to 1963. And in 1963, at the age of 42, he posted a 23-7 record with an 2.60 earned run average. Beat that. No one else today is going to beat that. Okay. And in 21 seasons, 21 big league seasons, Spawn was a 17-time All-Star, compiled a 363 to 245 record. He started 665 games. He completed 382. He struck out 2,583 batters and finished with an ERA of 3.09. This guy was a horse. He was good. He was good. And he was a Bostonian Boston Braves. And there we go. Okay. Somebody asked me if I am a Boston Celtics fan. Of course I am. Yes, I am. I am a Boston Celtics fan. From Bill Russell to Jason Tatum, who might not play in the very next game. But yes, I am a Boston Celtics fan. Boston Celtics fan. Thank you. And are you a Boston Celtics fan? I believe you are because you said uh, I can't read it. Boston fan. Yeah, sometimes these things you can't read them. Well, just type it in again, and we'll see what happens. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of the NBA playoffs, speaking of the Boston Celtics, who are in the NBA playoffs, let us talk about the NBA playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, I watched WWE's WrestleMania over the weekend. Yeah, I know what you're going to say. Yeah, let me. I'm going to get to that. But oh man, it was spectacularly entertaining. Um, Now they have so many themes, and I think that's what makes it exciting. One of the themes was there was a 60-year-old wrestler. Well, he's not quite 60, maybe he's in his 50s. John Cena. Now, John Cena had his heyday, and listen, he was on top of the world, and he had little wrestler muscle John Cena dolls, and he used to flex his pecs and things of that sort. Well, now he's like 50, 60 years old. He's old. He's an old crusty guy, and and he's a has-been. Okay, he's not wrestling. He's a has-been, and he's bitter. He's bitter at the world. They make these storylines up. Now, John Cena was once a good guy. He was one of those good guys. Always hustle. Honor, respect, hustle was his three main things that he liked to say. You had to have honor, respect, and hustle. And he always promoted the good things. Like Hulk Hogan promoted Hulk Hogan vitamins. Eat your vitamins. Yeah. Well, that was John Cena. He was a baby face. He was a good guy. Honor, respect, hustle, character, all this matters. Well, now John Cena has turned heel. Okay. And, you know, he's bitter. He's a bad guy. He talks, disparagingly about people and his opponent who was Dusty Rhodes. I mean, uh, gosh, I'm saying Dusty Rhodes. No, it's not Dusty Rhodes. It's Dusty Rhodes' son, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Anyway, I'm kind of digressing, but here's the point. Okay, he was matched up against Cody Rhodes, and he beat him. He defeated Cody Rhodes, and he won. He won the Ultimate, Universal, Extravaganza title because they have so many titles. And and another theme was there was this tiny Japanese female wrestler named Io Sky. And Io Sky was going up against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. I think these girls stand about 6 feet at least. And, they got muscles. Okay. So they had this little Japanese girl, female, because she's a grown woman. She's not a girl. But anyway, she stands about 5'3", 4 at the most, okay? And she was taking on these two giants in a three-way match. And you know what happened? Uh, she beat the women who were twice her size, and she won the Women's Wonderful Womanly Warrior Championship, or whatever it's called, because they have so many championships. But wait, there's more. Seth freaking Rollins won the man's manly main event, and Snoop Doggy Dogg won the fourth. Not the. This is a new Snoop Doggy Dogg. He won the Doggy Dog Doggone Championship, and it happened in Las Vegas over 2 days, and the place was sold out, and millions of people all over the world watched. But the best thing about it was everybody knew it was fake, which brings me back to the NBA. After the duplicitous duo of LeBron and Luca lost in the in the NBA marquee game of the weekend on their home court in Los Angeles, California, you knew. You knew the NBA front office was not going to let this happen again. No siree, Bob. Uh, so JJ Redick, he got the memo that the fakers would be free to bite, clutch, grab, hold, and kick. Whatever they wanted to do uh, Tuesday night, they would be free to do, and they did. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it was it. Okay. Um, yes, I'm a Boston fan. Yeah, I'm a Boston fan. Yeah, thank you very much. Somebody's watching. Hello, my voice isn't clear. Oh, it's getting clearer. Greetings of the day. I'm just reading things. Okay, I have to get back to you on that. And there's also a bunch of fans here. Wow. I am also a what? Professional player. Oh, a fan of Warren Spahn. Oh yeah. I mean, wow. How can you not be? When you got a guy who wins 363 games. Wow. I can't even imagine how good this guy was. Now imagine if he had all the training tools and training mechanisms and all of the food and diet stuff that they have today. The guy would have won 400 games. He was only 35 games away from 400. So yeah, I love this chat overlay thing. This thing is good, and I'm gonna have to learn how to manage it a little bit better. But what was I saying? Everyone knows that the WWE is, well, it's entertainment, but do they not know that the NBA is entertainment almost in the same way, because they use the referees to control the game, not to manage the game. I mean, similar to how the WWE does. I mean, the Lakers were clutching and grabbing and holding and biting and everything yesterday. And just like a WWE ref, the referees out there saw nothing. But conveniently, they always seem to turn around, or however they do this, how they do it in the WWE. The ref is always looking over here, he's being distracted by something, and the bad guy is just, taking the other guy to town. He's rubbing salt in the guy's eyes. He's covering him with a paper bag, and he's hitting him over the head. I mean, he's doing everything possible, and the ref never sees it. And the ref turns around just in time to see the good guy retaliate, which is sort of how they did the Minnesota Timberwolves yesterday. I have a picture of one of the Minnesota guys being clutch, Rudy Gobert. And if I can find the picture, I'm going to put it on for you. But he was being clutch on the way to going to get a rebound, and you know, uh, nothing was said. I mean, I think I have it here, and I'm going to pull it up for you. So you got to see this. But this exemplifies what was happening the whole game, which was um, the Lakers were free. They're free. They were free to mug, and nothing was going to happen. Was going to happen to them. It was going to be okay. And meanwhile, if the other team tried to respond with physicality, then well, they weren't going to allow that. They got to get LeBron and Luca a win. You know, they got to get these guys a win. Look at these guys. I mean, uh, coming on the air, do you know what they said? They said, "We're in LA. We're in the land of Hollywood and this and that." They just glamorized and glitched it all up, and and then Luca and LeBron went out there and lost, and that they couldn't have that. I mean, that's terrible. So what they had to do was make sure they didn't lose, and well, that's what they did last night. And I'm pulling up this shot for you so that you can see it. There it is, right there. Rui Hachimura, who's not a bad guy. He's really a good guy, but JJ Redick has given him the orders that he's the hatchet man now. On the team with LeBron and Luca, he is the hatchet man now. So he's grabbing Rudy Gobert's shirt as they're jumping up in the air. Now, this is impossible unless you actually intentionally do this. You can't do this unless you're intentionally doing this. And I want you to notice he's doing it right in front of the rim, which means anybody, any referee should be able to see this. And no, this was not called. No, 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 you're not going to call it because we have to, it's just like a WWE ref. So I think the point I'm trying to get across here is that the NBA can be quite, well, it's like a government audit. They should be audited. And they don't want to be audited because they know that they're crooked. they know that it's not on the level. Is what I'm saying. Okay. Instead, they would scream to you, "There shouldn't be an audit. Get rid of Doge. Don't audit us. Leave us alone. We're being fair. We're being transparent." And here, this guy is grabbing this guy's shirt blatantly. I mean, you can't even make this up. Okay, we'll just take that off because enough's enough, and you don't need to see this anymore. Okay, what do we have here in the overlay? What role should John Cena have in the future of his comeback? Well, John Cena said he only has 30 more dates of whatever, and the last time I looked, he was getting RKO'd by Randy Orton. um, I think, as it always happens, and this is what makes professional wrestling so entertaining, is that it's tongue in cheek. Even though John Cena says he's only going to be around for 30 more dates or how many times he's going to make an appearance, it really doesn't matter. Okay, he's going to. It's not going to matter. He's going to do whatever he wants to do, and he's not going to hold. No, you're not going to hold him to it. You're not going to hold him to it. He's going to overstay his welcome of 30 dates of whatever, and then that's what you love about it. And you know what? These guys are articulate. I got to say this, okay? The WWE guys are very articulate. They can go in so many angles, and that's something the NBA players can't do. I mean, should they allow the NBA players to talk? I mean, well, yes, but don't let them curse and swear like they actually do. Um, the WWE players, wrestlers, can talk without cursing. They can make you laugh. They can go over different angles and different subjects and different topics and keep it interesting. Something that the NBA players can't do. They're petulant, like Kyrie's petulant, or they're arrogant, like Luca and LeBron, and really expect you to think that they're actually as good as they think they are when they're not. So, John Cena, I think John Cena, his future is going to be he will bow out. He's going to lose to Cody Rhodes. He has to lose again to Cody Rhodes. I can't believe I'm talking WWE on my podcast, but actually, you know what? I'm glad to do it. Um, I mean, Cody Rhodes has got to come back and get his title somehow, some way. So it's interesting. I love John Cena. He brings he can always extrapolate on in any angle he's going into, which is right now the heel, the bitter person heel role, and they brought him back, and it's fantastic. So let me see, 21 seasons Major League Baseball. Warren Spahn played today with the current team. Would he be dominant? Yeah, yeah. Warren Spahn would be definitely dominant. He was a crafty guy. He had a screwball. How many players can throw a screwball? Screwball, curveball, sweep, fastball, paint the edges, up and down, in and out. Um, you got to be darn good to win 300 over 300 games. Um, when you have stuff like that, you can pitch in any era. Any era. Okay. Back to basketball. What I have to finish off on the basketball. So they're not going to let the Lakers lose. Of course not. They're not going to. They're going to do whatever they have to do to give them a push. Now, you may ask yourself, why would the NBA want to control who wins? Well, that's a really dumb question. The NBA is a business, and the business is in the business to make money. Now, the lowest ticket prices for a seat at a Lakers game is going for like $250. You need $250 to get in the door. In Minneapolis, it's 150, if that. Okay, and it could get worse. You could buy a ticket and watch the Cleveland Cavaliers host the Miami Heat tonight for just $52. Or wait, if you want even a bigger bargain, you can just spend $7. That's it, $7 to go watch a playoff game if you travel to Memphis and watch them host the OKC Thunder tomorrow. No, I kid you not, $7. I said $7. Now, I get back to the aforementioned. There's another series that's going off the rails, and the NBA can't seem to do anything about the Milwaukee Bucks and Indiana Pacers. Okay, um, now Milwaukee has lost twice to the Pacers, and Milwaukee is kind of like an NBA type, the team they want to give the push, but it's not going to happen because I really don't because it's really. Um, Let me put it this way: you can go to the Milwaukee Indiana game and only spend $44 to get in the door. So, there's not a lot of, whether it's the Cleveland Cavaliers or Milwaukee Bucks, once you leave the glitz of the coast of New York, Boston, California, you can get ticket prices cheap. I gotta say this though, Houston is sparking a lot of interest. I'm glad to see that they are. Houston is sparking a lot of interest, so we'll see what happens there. But I don't know if it's really Houston or if it's Golden State that's the draw. But I do know Houston tickets are selling for over $150 also. So the NBA has to go where the market is. They got to push it where the market is, and there's no use pushing it to a team that is or you know what, they shouldn't be in the job of pushing it anyway. But then again, if they do it that way, it's not business savvy. So I think what I'm saying is, though, even though the the WM, even though the NBA is kind of doing head trips with you guys on who they want to win, there's a reason for it, and it all has to do with money. Now, let me get to my picks for the first round. Okay, my picks for the first round in the East are going to be Boston going through Orlando, New York. They can't possibly let New York lose to Detroit. New York can beat Detroit, though. I mean, Detroit can beat New York. I don't think New York can beat Detroit in the up and up game. I really don't. Okay. Detroit is a beast. They're that good, they're that fast, and they're that hungry. But I doubt that the NBA is going to let that happen. So I'm going to have to take New York, Indianapolis, because they really don't care who wins between Indianapolis and Milwaukee. And Cleveland, well, I mean, they like Miami, but there's nobody in Miami that they can even construct a scenario around that they could beat Cleveland in this present day and age. So that's not going to happen. And my picks for the first round in the West are the LA Lakers because they will not absolutely positively let the Los Angeles Lakers lose to the Minnesota Timberwolves. No, that's not going to happen. Uh, Denver Nuggets, uh, LA Clippers. Because it would be ridiculous for them to let the LA Clippers. I know I'm saying this like it's the WWE. If they let the LA Clippers win and you would have an all LA, I mean, they're not gonna that's not what they're looking for. No, no, no. So they want Denver to win that one there. OKC Thunder is definitely gonna win, and Golden State is going to take young Houston to task. Um, but if Houston, okay, gets good. I mean, if they grow into themselves and they're taking it to Golden State, the NBA will more than likely step in and kind of finagle the bagels so that Golden State wins. They don't want Golden State, uh, San Francisco, that area up there where Golden State is. They're not going to say Oakland, but San Francisco and the elites up there. They do have a crowd and a lot of businesses up there, and they definitely are going to make sure that Golden State crosses over. Golden State. They're gonna convince Houston to put Golden State over, as they say in wrestling. Okay. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm having too much fun, as you know. But thank you. And you know what? Keep. Give me some more overlays. I like this. I like this. I will answer everyone. Okay, New York will probably lose the match. Yeah, you're right, because they would. They would. Detroit is hungry. Um, um, somebody, Tina. Oh yeah. Thank you, Tina. Yeah, they would. They would because New York is hungry. I mean, Detroit is hungry. Detroit. Oh my gosh. I mean, uh, Jaden, Jalen Durden, and Cade Cunningham. Gosh, I mean, unbelievable is that team right now. They could take on anybody and they'd be a menace right now because they got young guys who can run forever, similar to Houston, but a little bit more hungry. Okay, because they've toiled for years in obscurity. I think that win that they had the other day was their first win in 15 years. 15 years is in the first playoff win in 15 years. So Detroit has not had a playoff win in 15 years. Believe me, these guys, these guys, right now, if they allow these guys to play, they might go through the East. Okay, um, we'll see. But New York should have lost both of those games. They were lucky to win the first one, but they weren't lucky and they didn't win the second one. Now let's speak about my Boston Red Sox. And what do I want to say about the Red Sox? Here's what I want to say. I am upset. Okay, they have guys down there. The Red Sox have a team that should be 5 games ahead of everybody right now. Okay. Yes, and I will check my email. I'll do that immediately as soon as I get off because I'm sure there's people that are leaving things in my email that I need to address, and I will check that. Um, but the Boston Red Sox, the Boston Red Sox should be 5 games, but they can't get any production out of Rafael Devers. Okay, he can't catch up to the fastball anymore. No, he can't. Now, this happened to Alex Bregman too a couple of years ago. He couldn't catch up to the fastball, but you know what he became? Instead of a straight slugger, he became more of just a contact hitter. So he's even a better hitter now. Can Rafael Devers, does he have the discipline to do that? You know, my first instinct is to say no, but whatever, something has to be done right now. Okay. Um, you're going to have to sit this guy down. And put somebody else in there. And you're gonna have to do the same thing with Cedar Rafaela, and the same thing with Tristan Casas. And you got to do it whether you like it or not. You're going to pay these guys, whether they're playing or not. But if you want to win some games, if you want to get out there and start winning games and create a competitive atmosphere, you're gonna have to sit these guys down and play Roman Anthony and and Marquise Grissom and Marcelo Meyer. These are the guys you're going to have to put in there to get steady, steady, steady hits in which your offense is turning over and turning over and turning over. Now, can these rookies last the whole year? I doubt it. I doubt it. Okay. But you're getting the production now, which is going to put you 5 games, 10 games out in front of everybody else. And then maybe these veterans of Rafaela and Casas and Devers can get their act together, okay, for the second half of the season and get back in there, okay? But you need to create a atmosphere of competitiveness, and you're not doing that. You're not getting it done, okay? And that's the reason why this team is spotty. Now, this team is only a half a game out of first place, and that's playing as bad as you can possibly play. Imagine if they played good, okay? So, it, it- stop. You're going to pay these guys. You've already done the contract for millions of dollars. But just because you have them under contract for millions of dollars does not mean that you play them and lose. If you're going to play them and not win, you might as well sit them down and put somebody else in because you're paying them anyway. So that's it for the Red Sox. That's all I want to touch on. Uh, I'm high on these guys, Anthony, Campbell, and Mayer. No, don't trade them. We have other plays that you could use as trade um, material. Um, listen, the three I just mentioned, Devers, yeah, use them for trade material. Why not? Cassis, people are high on him. He had a pretty good season last year. Rafaela, yeah, okay. And you even got Masutaka. Oh, gee, I forget the guy's name, but it's a Japanese name. And don't anyone try to even say that, that because I don't remember the guy's name. There's a lot of names I don't remember. Sometimes I'm lucky if I remember my name. Okay. But you got that guy. Okay. But you got this guy Grissom, who had 5 hits in a game last week. Triple A guys, that's impossible. I mean, but when you get a guy like that, don't waste his time and your time and everyone else's time by sticking him in the freaking minors. Okay? Get him up here. Get his bat up here and let him tear up the big leagues. And do the same with Anthony and do the same with Meyer. Get him up here. And do you want to win? Because that's what the Celtics would do. Okay? That's how the Patriots won. They use competition. It didn't matter your contract. You got to produce. If you're not producing, there's going to be somebody else in there. And if you want to win, then you got to do it. Red Sox. Okay. I'm getting off my soapbox. I am done. I am done. Thank you, everybody. Remember, like, subscribe, leave comments. I appreciate all the chats, all the people that were in the chat. Okay, because that's so important. Um, talking about these things are great, and talking about sports is the funnest thing because you could talk about this and not lose friendship for the most part. It's not like political ideology. I've lost friends over political ideology. Very dear and close friends, very dear, and it will separate you. But you can disagree on sports, and um, it won't be a big deal. Okay. Somebody's asking me a Canadian professional soccer player who is a midfielder for the Premier Club. Uh, whew, I'm going to have to dig into this one. It's bringing, okay. Is he good? You're asking me if he's good. Hamid Shone. Okay, yeah. You're asking me if he's a good guy? Uh huh. You know what? I'm going to have to research that. I will research it and I will get back to you. Should they improve? You know what? I'm going to research that and get back to you whether he's going to be an improvement over the local players. This Hamid Shone. Shone. Uh, see what he has to say. Oh, you know what? This is great. I love this. Um, Saram, okay. Check the email. New York will lose the match probably. I love this. This is fantastic. And what role should John Cena play? John Cena is playing an awful good role right now. I'll tell you that much. I mean, he's pulling it off. He's great. He's fantastic. Um, and one of the old adages about John Cena was he couldn't wrestle. John said, "I don't need to wrestle in order to beat you," and turned out to be true. You can't make this stuff up. It's beautiful that these things happen. I love it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for the show for today. I hope you had a great time. Um, any more questions? I'm going to answer these questions in the email that I've been directed toward, and I will answer them all and get them all taken care of so that we are all on the same page. And do direct any questions because I'm an encyclopedia of sports knowledge. Warren Spahn, I just pulled them out of the air. Babe Ruth, Jackie Robinson, um, Nuke Rockney. Yeah, Nuke Rockney. Anything you want to know about anybody, and I'm sure gonna have I'm gonna have some knowledge on Shamit Shone. See if he's up to snuff for Bangladesh. Okay, because Bangladesh wants to make noise in this year's World Cup. Not being also ran, they want to make noise, and I believe they can do it if they get the right people on it, which of course is always it, and to see if they can outlast the you know the talented French and the the very determined Argentinians who rugged and just like the Germans. So and the British, we'll see how they last. You always have talented teams with exceptional athletic ability taking on the teams that they're just going to grind you down and make you work for everything. They're going to tackle you hard. They're going to hurt your talented players and force you to rely on other players. So we'll see what happens. We'll talk about that. But with that, I think I should say, as I've tried to say, that I think I've said 3 times. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm done for the day. That's it. We figured out the audio problems. Thank you very much for the people who let me know that there were audio problems. We figured it out. We got it right. And you know what? I got to go. You know, work on my sports knowledge. So thank you very much for showing up. I will talk to you on Saturday, WEZE. Remember now, you can call in 844-249-5247, 844-249-5247. And you can call in and talk as well as chat. So we have the chat overlay, and you can call in and let your voice be heard on Saturday at 9 a.m. If you subscribe to this station, it'll pop up right, right in your email. It'll pop right up and follows your notifications, and you'll be primed to call in and let your voice be heard. With that, ladies and gentlemen, let me stop talking. If you haven't noticed by now, as my wife would tell me, shut up sometime. Shut up. Can you just be quiet? That's a good question. Okay. Bangladesh will beat Singapore for the Asian Cup qualification. Okay. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. And we'll talk about that too. We'll talk about that next week. So, you know what, guys? We're going to talk about Bangladesh. I always get a lot of comments on Bangladesh soccer. So we're talking about that next week. Guaranteed. Okay. So bring your questions. I will be ready. With that, we're out of here. Ciao, Bella. Hasta la vista.